Hola estudiantes, this video is to study a new topic. Los verbos que terminan en AR. So the verbs that end in AR. ¿Qué es un verbo? Vamos a ver. ¿Qué es un verbo? Un verbo es una acción. So a verb is a word that expresses an action. Como bailar. A verb can also be a word that expresses a condition or a state. In Spanish, we have three groups of verbs. So all of the verbs in Spanish fit in these three groups. The first group is the AR group. For example, bailar, estudiar. The next group is the ER group. Correr, comer. And the third group is the IR verb. So all of the verbs that end in IR, like escribir or vivir, right? All of them fit in this group. So again, so these are the only three groups. So all of the verbs in the infinitive, like bailar, estudiar, correr, comer, escribir, vivir, they all fit in these three groups. Today, we are only going to focus on the AR verbs, right? So we're going to study the verbs and the conjugation of the AR verbs. So we're going to see the examples. Bailar. Buscar. Caminar. Cantar. Cenar. Comprar. Contestar. Conversar. Desayunar. Descansar. Desear. And if we pay attention here, we can see that there's a plus infinitive. So this is the abbreviation for infinitive. And what this means is that often this verb, desear, goes together with another verb. So we're going to see desear next to another verb in the infinitive. Por ejemplo, deseo comer. Deseo comer, right? So then we have desear is being conjugated when you say yo deseo comer. Comer stays in the infinitive form. Dibujar. Enseñar. Escuchar. Esperar. And here we can see that there are two possible uses of esperar, right? So we can say to wait for, right? To wait for somebody, or to hope. So when we use it as to hope, then we have this same structure here, esperar plus the infinitive, meaning esperar would have to be conjugated and then followed by a verb in the infinitive. For example, yo espero hablar español. Yo espero hablar español. Estudiar. Explicar. Hablar. Muy bien. Hablar. So now we're going to get this verb, hablar, and we are going to conjugate that verb. So what I'm showing you here is a pattern that every regular verb that ends in AR will follow. So let's see. So we have the verb hablar in the infinitive form. When the verbs end in AR, ER, or IR, that is the infinitive form. It means that it has not been conjugated yet. So when we say hablar, the same in English, right? When we say to speak, we do not know who is speaking, right? When we say hablar, we don't know who is talking here. So when we add the persons, the pronouns, then we conjugate it, right? So, okay, so we have the verb hablar, and so the first step is to, first of all, identify what kind of ending it is, right? What group does hablar belong to? Okay, well, so it's pretty clear here, right? The verb hablar belongs to the AR group. So once we identify the ending of the verb, we are going to drop that ending. And once we drop the ending, we are left with the stem of the verb. So this is the like the root, the stem of the verb that will not change. Now, we are going to add the ending that matches the subject. So the subject is going to be our pronouns, right? Yo, tú, él, ella, usted, nosotros, nosotras, vosotros, vosotras, ellos, ellas, ustedes. So now we already have all our single pronouns, our plural pronouns, right? So now we are going to add that stem of the verb. Because it is the stem, it will not change. It will always be the same for all of the pronouns. Okay? So once we have the stem of the verb, then we're going to add the ending that matches the subject. What is the ending that matches yo? Yo hablo. What is the ending that matches tú? Tú hablas. Now, the ending that matches the él, ella, usted is habla. The ending for nosotros, nosotras is hablamos, amos. And the ending for vosotros y vosotras, habláis, habláis. The ending for ellos, ellas, ustedes, hablan. So we have yo hablo, tú hablas, él, ella, usted habla, nosotros, nosotras hablamos, vosotros, vosotras habláis, y ellos, ellas, ustedes hablan. So we have conjugated the verb hablar into all of the pronouns, all of the persons of the Spanish. Okay, so now we are going to continue. Llegar, llevar, mirar. Muy bien. So, atención, atención. We have some things we should stop and review here. So when we have the verb buscar, and when we are, so the verb buscar, right? When what the complement to buscar is a thing, when we are looking for a thing, busco mi libro, we have this form, busco mi libro. But what about when I am looking for a person? So when I'm looking for a person, I need to add a personal A. This A here, it's called the personal A. Busco a mi amigo Luis. When I'm looking for a thing, we don't need this personal A. That's why it's called personal, right? Because we only use it for people. Muy bien. We have the verb escuchar. Escucho la música. It's the same situation. If we are listening to a thing, like in this case music, we don't need an A. But what about if we are listening to somebody? Escucho a Beyoncé. Okay, so in that case we also need the personal A. Esperar is the same situation. If we are waiting for the bus for a thing, we don't need the A, but what if we are waiting for a person? Espero a mi papá. In that case, we need the A again. Mirar. Same situation. When we are looking at something, a program, a movie, a something, we don't need the A. Miro Netflix. But what if we are looking at somebody? In that case, we need the personal A. Miro a mis estudiantes. Muy bien. Continuamos. Necesitar. Ahora, atención nuevamente. Deseo hablar con el señor Jiménez. Remember how I talked about the two verbs together? This is one case. Deseo hablar con el señor Jiménez. Espero llegar a tiempo. So in this case, esperar has the hope meaning, right? So I hope to arrive on time. Espero llegar a tiempo. So we have two verbs. Only the first one is conjugated. Also in this case, necesito encontrar un trabajo. So look at how the second verb ends in AR. The first verb is conjugated. Yo deseo, yo espero, yo necesito encontrar un trabajo. And this is the same as in English, right? If you say, I wish to talk to Mr. Jimenez, right? Wish to talk. She wishes to talk, right? So it's the same situation. So this is when we have two verbs together. Muy bien. Practicar. Preguntar. Preparar. Regresar. Terminar. Tomar. Trabajar. Viajar. Desayunar. Cenar. So here we can see the difference, right? Between to eat in the morning, to eat at night. Desayunar, cenar. Muy bien. So let's talk about the verbs in the infinitive. So here we have the English version and the Spanish version. So infinitive, right? We said that a verb in the infinitive in Spanish always has the to speak. In Spanish, it has to end in an AR, ER, or IR. So let's look at the two languages. I to speak Spanish. Yo hablar español. So this is what is going on here. I to speak Spanish doesn't sound correct. Yo hablar español does not sound correct either, because we are not conjugating the verb in either case, right? I speak Spanish. Yo hablo español. So you see the difference. I to speak Spanish, that means that we were keeping the infinitive form. We had not conjugated this verb. And here, yo hablar, we changed that to yo hablo, right? We added the ending for the yo. So these two are correct. What about she speak Spanish? Or, which is incorrect, or ella habló español. This is not correct either. We would have to say she speaks Spanish, right? Why? Because we have to conjugate it. The she and the verb have to agree. And by adding the s here, we make them agree. Now, ella habla español, right? So this a agrees with ella, right? This is the ending that belongs to the subject ella. Muy bien. Now let's do the conjugation again. This is we did it with hablar. Now we are going to do it again with viajar. So what did we say? The first thing we have to do is to identify the ending, right? Right now we're only studying the verbs that end in AR. So this is an AR verb. So we're going to drop that ending and we're going to be left with the stem of the verb. And we said this stem does not change. It stays with all of the pronouns, right? So now, the next step is to add the ending that matches the subject. And we need to get all of our pronouns here on this little table. And we already know what the stem is, which is right here. So we're going to add it here. So we can repeat it, right? Because we know that this part of the verb will not change. It will stay the same because this is a regular verb. So now I only have to find the ending that matches the yo, the ending that matches tu, right? So yo, we said that the ending is o. For tu is as. For él, ella, usted, a. For nosotros, nosotras, amos. For vosotras, vosotras, ais. And ellos, ellas, ustedes, han. So we have yo viajo, tú viajas, él, ella, usted viaja, nosotros, nosotras viajamos, vosotros, vosotras viajáis y ellos, ellas, ustedes viajan. Muy bien. Gracias y esto es todo.